Hemant, when I hire an immigration advisor and I pay a fees, does the law give me any rights to, in terms of what I can expect from the advisor, where I can question them?
Yes, absolutely. So, the immigration advisors profession is regulated by the Immigration Advisors Authority, and the authority has a code of conduct. So you can, simply Google Code of Conduct IAA, and you can download a copy of it. So there are about 20-30 clauses over there. And in those clauses, you'll get to know what are the kind of responsibilities that an immigration advisor has.
These are not legally binding on the advisors.
These are
Correct?
legally binding.
Okay.
You can actually lodge a complaint against an advisor if he hasn't followed any of those
Okay.
clauses of the Code of Conduct.
What are these clauses?
Something very similar, something very simple as, has the advisor explained their fees to you properly? So there
इसका क्या
is,
मतलब है एक्सप्लेनेशन का?
यार कई बार ऐसे है कि एडवाइजर ने आपको अग्रीमेंट दे दिया है, उसमें लिखा हुआ है दैट यू हैव टू पे $2,000 फॉर दिस एप्लीकेशन.
Okay.
तो एडवाइजर वो $2,000 में क्या काम कर रहा है आपके लिए?
So they have to say कि we will compile your documents, we will submit the documents, we
जी,
will advise
तो-
you. So it needs to be spelled out properly.
या तो उसमें कई बार क्या होता है, और टू बी ऑनेस्ट ये प्रॉब्लम्स जो हैं कई बार क्लाइंट्स लॉयर्स के साथ भी फेस करते हैं, दैट क्लाइंट्स आर नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग टू बी चार्ज्ड फॉर वर्क दैट दे आर चार्ज्ड फॉर. ठीक है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल क्लाइंट जाता है, एडवाइजर है लॉयर के पास, तो लॉयर कहते हैं ओके आई एम गोइंग टू चार्ज 3,000 फॉर इट. वहाँ पे नीचे कहीं एक क्लॉज लिखा होता है कि आगे अगर हम कोई और काम करेंगे, ठीक है, तो हम आपसे और पैसे लेंगे. ठीक है,
Isn't that okay?
दैट इज़ ओके, बट या तो क्लाइंट ने पूछा नहीं एडवाइज़र से कि क्या काम करोगे, किस काम के कितने पैसे होंगे. ठीक है, या फिर एडवाइज़र ने या लॉयर ने भी नहीं बताया कि भाई इस काम के हम और पैसे भी ले सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ अ क्लाइंट कम्स टू मी, आई हैव अ लुक एट देयर केस, एंड इफ आई फील दैट इन द once we launch the application, so there can be some red flags. So we tell the client that look in advance that look, these are the red flags that you can expect in your case, and if we feel that we will need to work more, we'll let you know how much we are going to charge if immigration actually raises this concern.
Okay.
So that's a very common complaint which clients have.
और इस टाइप की कंप्लेंट में how often do you see clients actually going to the tribunal or the authority to question?
See, usually once somebody's visa is declined, their first plan is that how can we now become lawful, or what is the way out of this situation. So they will consult another lawyer or another advisor, right?
Obviously.
And then depending on whether they have the capacity, because it's in the end, it's a lot of, it takes a toll on your mental happiness as well.
And the best outcome you can get is some money back.
Yeah. So for the client, the first priority is to save their own status. So that's why a lot of these issues are not reported.
और क्या common issues हैं that actually advisors should be following but generally they don't?
I think one of the most common issues that I hear is that मेरा advisor जो है मेरा फ़ोन नहीं उठाता है.
ये बहुत common है. We also get a lot of people telling us.
Yeah. इसमें I think दो चीज़ें होती हैं. एडवाइज़र की तरफ से आप अपने एडवाइज़र से पूछिए जब आप उसके साथ साइन अप कर रहे हैं, सो डज ही हैव सर्विस स्टैंडर्ड्स डॉक्यूमेंट.
ये भी डॉक्यूमेंट होता है एक.
आप देखो, आप डोमिनोज में जाते हो तो उनका एक डॉक्यूमेंट बना होता है ना, कि वो अपने एम्प्लॉयज़ को बताते हैं कि आपने किस लेवल की सर्विस देनी है ना अपने एक कस्टमर को.
तो वो इंटरनल डॉक्यूमेंटेशन है,
इंटरनल डॉक्यूमेंटेशन है. ठीक है, सो फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे हमारा जो सर्विस स्टैंडर्ड्स का डॉक्यूमेंटेशन है, वी सेंड अ कॉपी ऑफ दैट विद एवरी क्लाइंट एग्रीमेंट, और उसकी कॉपी हिंदी में भी जाती है, पंजाबी में भी जाती है, इंग्लिश में भी जाती है.
What do you write in these
सो
documents?
उसमें हम एक तो क्लाइंट को ये बताते हैं कि कब आप हमें फ़ोन कर सकते हो. तो फॉर एग्जांपल अगर सैटरडे संडे को हम बंद हैं, तो ऐसा है कि हो सकता है हम आपके कॉल का जवाब ना दें, वी मे नॉट आंसर योर ईमेल्स. फिर हम उन्हें ये बताते हैं कि लुक, once you send us all the documents that we require, we will take up to 5 working days to lodge your application.
Okay.
फिर हम उन्हें ये समझाते हैं कि डोंट सेंड डॉक्यूमेंट्स टू अस ऑन व्हाट्सएप. वी डोंट कम्युनिकेट विद क्लाइंट्स ऑन व्हाट्सएप. वी कम्युनिकेट विद क्लाइंट्स ओनली ऑन ईमेल. so that everybody has a written record of what has happened. So this is also one of the requirements of code of conduct, that the advisor needs to explain any relevant matters or important matters of the application in writing to the client. तो बहुत सारे लोग ये नहीं करते हैं. तो ये फोन्स का एक बड़ा मेजर इशू है.
जनरली इस कंप्लेंट में मैंने देखा है, यूजुअली पीपल हैव अ प्रॉब्लम दैट माय एप्लीकेशन हैज बीन फाइल्ड एंड नाउ द एडवाइजर डजंट टेल मी कि नतीजा कब आएगा. He doesn't take my call, doesn't reply to my emails, and sometimes the advisors potentially reasonably say, yaar, we cannot keep replying.
Yeah.
The application has its time frame, and that time frame is public. We disclose this, but so it seems that you need to draw a line between what is reasonable versus what is just too much pestering.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's very difficult to draw a line because you don't want to tell your client that, look, you can't call me more than once a week. Okay, so there are times when clients are genuinely anxious. Right,
which is most of the times.
Yeah, and they want to call you just to feel okay about it.
तो how do you, इसका तो कोई standard नहीं है.
इसका कोई standard नहीं है, but we like to tell clients that, look, I mean, if immigration is saying about 4 weeks, if nothing has come out from immigration, let's say in 6 weeks, then we can give a call to immigration and ask what's happening.
Okay.
Right, and if we see that there is a delay, right, then definitely we act onto it more regularly. We try to get in touch with the case officer. We try to see why it is being delayed.
So apart from the phone calls, और किस type की problems आती हैं?
I think lot of times, as you said, professionals don't reply to emails that often. Right, and then another common problem is that there was a deadline by which date they had to apply and they forgot to apply. They forgot to respond.
I have read a lot of stories, not just from the Indian community, but even others.
Yes.
लोगों की तो रेसिडेंसी एप्लीकेशन डिक्लाइन हो गई है, उनको डेपोटेशन नोटिस आ गया है.
Yeah.
So उसमें क्या is it like, can I hold my advisor legally accountable for that?
Absolutely.
So what will happen? The immigration will say, okay, it was your advisor's fault, so we give you another chance.
Immigration can say that, but there are times when immigration will say, sorry, you've become unlawful. We understand it's your advisor's fault, but we don't think that we would like to grant a visa to you under Section 61.
फिर are there any, in such cases, do they then take action against the advisors?
It's up to the client, to be honest. I mean, there are very rarely, I think, immigration would initiate a complaint against an advisor, but it's up to the client to take it up with the IAA. Usually, so another requirement of the code of conduct is that all advisors are bound to have an internal complaints policy.
Okay.
So the first complaint needs to come to the advisor itself by the client in writing, that this is the problem I'm having with you. Right, if that is not resolved, then they can also involve another third party, or they can ask the advisor to involve a neutral party to resolve this. To arbitrate. If it is not resolved at that time, right, then they can go to the IAA and lodge a formal complaint.
Out of every 10 applicants, how many do you think even know that there are these rules?
I think very difficult to quantify, but I think a vast majority of
10
people.
Of 10?
No.
You have cases where people have read all of this?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's only when something goes bad
and then they
that
go
people start to realize
some
that,
documents and then they question you, right?
Yeah. So by that time, their situation is already such that the question is whether you want to take that extra tension off.
And also, you might not even have the supporting evidence because, all the conversation has already happened. And now you look at the law, and the law says you need to have sent a formal email first, but you never did.
Yeah.
So you can't do anything about it now.
It's not that. I mean, I protects the rights, or it regulates us. It protects the rights of the migrant.
Okay.
So their line of investigation is whether the rights of the migrants were protected or not, whether the advisor acted in line with the code of conduct or not.
और common problems क्या हैं?
I think there is one more issue that I would like to discuss. It's not such a problem, but this is something that I would like to tell migrants that आप जब किसी को engage कर रहे हो तो this is what you deserve to get. सो जब आपकी एप्लीकेशन कोई भी एडवाइज़र या लॉयर सबमिट कर रहा है आपके बिहाफ पे, या कोई कवर लेटर बना रहा है वो आपके बिहाफ पे, या इमिग्रेशन ने कुछ कंसर्न्स रेज किए हैं वो उसका जवाब दे रहे हैं, सो बिफोर दे आंसर एंड रिस्पॉन्ड ऑन योर बिहाफ दे नीड यू टू रिव्यू दैट सबमिशन. यू मस्ट.
ये तो हार्डली कोई भी करता है.
यू विल बी सरप्राइज, बहुत लोग करते हैं. मेजॉरिटी लोग शायद नहीं भी करते होंगे, ठीक है, बट बहुत लोग करते हैं.
But I don't think the applicants even realize that they have the right to first vet
Yes.
what is being sent to
Yes.
I and Z.
तभी हम लोग बैठ के ये चीज़ बात कर रहे हैं, जैसे मैंने आपको डिस्कस किया था कि हमारा मोटिव किसी को डराना नहीं है, या हमारा मोटिव किसी को ये दिखाना नहीं है कि हम किसी से अच्छे हैं और कोई अच्छा नहीं है. हमारा मोटिव है, दो मोटिव है हमारे. एक तो ये है कि पीपल, माइग्रेंट्स हु आर पेइंग मनी, दे शुड नो what kind of service they should expect from a good advisor. अगर वो आपके बिहाफ पे कवर लेटर बना रहा है या आपके बिहाफ पे सबमिशन बना रहा है तो आप वो चेक कीजिए. अगर आप किसी सीरियस मैटर के लिए उसके पास गए हैं, आपका ड्रिंक एंड ड्राइव हो गया, कैरेक्टर वेवर करना है, यू वांट टू एंगेज दैट एडवाइज़र, आपके पास हक है कि आप उससे पूछ सकते हैं कि आप हमें अपनी कोई पुरानी सबमिशन दिखाएंगे.
Okay.
देखिए, एडवाइज़र आपको अपने क्लाइंट की प्राइवेट डिटेल्स रिडैक्ट करके वो सबमिशन दिखा सकता है. तो उससे आपको पता लग जाएगा कि एडवाइज़र के पास कितनी नॉलेज है. तो ये आपका हक है, ये आपको करना चाहिए, बिकॉज आप पैसे दे रहे हो. तो आपका कवर लेटर है, आपका कोई जवाब है, आपको चेक करना चाहिए. और दूसरी तरफ आई वुड लाइक टू ऑल्सो शेयर दिस विद माई कॉलीग्स इन द इंडस्ट्री. वी ऑल शुड डू दिस विद आर क्लाइंट्स एंड टेक द प्रोफेशन हायर. ऑल टुगेदर हम लोग सब मिल के अच्छे हो जाएंगे तो हमारा प्रोफेशन अपने आप हायर हो जाएगा.
एक और कॉमन चीज़ है जो मैंने खुद देखी है कि यू वांट अ सर्टेन सर्विस फ्रॉम एन एडवाइज़र, यू गो टू 5 different advisors. The range in the money they charge is too much. Like it could be one is charging $1,000, the other is charging 2,000, somebody is charging 6,000, 7,000. कोई rationale है? Is there any kind of framework under which advisors can charge for similar services?
So the code of conduct is quite vague on this. They say that the fees that you charge should be reasonable. So
Reasonable to what? To your
that is
expenses
where-
as an advisor, or
that is
reasonable to the
where-
client?
Yeah, that is where the code of conduct is silent on.
But I'm still trying to figure. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But how can the difference range from 1,000 to 10,000?
Look, I don't think कि कोई ऐसी एप्लीकेशन होगी कोई 1,000 में कर रहा है, कोई 10 में कर रहा है. Usually you would find a difference of about maybe 30-40%, 50% in people. So ये difference काफ़ी factors हैं. So when we calculate our fees, so one is obviously the amount of experience the advisor has. कितने साल उन्होंने लगा लिए हैं, because the more years they've spent, right? They have seen cases like these, the more they've seen complications, they know what immigration is going to say, and they know how to handle immigration, right? Second, obviously how big their office is. If the advisor has a lot of people in their office and they're sitting in a flash building,
Their expenses high.
उसके
more.
expenses हैं, उनकी marketing cost हैं, तो वो marketing cost आपकी fees में include होती है.
That is kind of true for any business.
Which is true for any business.
Correct.
It's not that they're charging you unfairly. So ये दो मेन फैक्टर्स हैं आई थिंक जो डिटर्मिन करते हैं कि आप कितनी फीस चार्ज करते
Do you
हो.
think if an advisor is trying to be reasonable and charging as less as possible, ये advisor के against ही जाता है क्योंकि कोई कम charge कर रहा है अगर, so you are naturally suspicious कि यार maybe this guy is not capable, maybe this guy is new.
कल्चरल कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ये कई कल्चर्स में ट्रू होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आज से आई थिंक अबाउट 4 years ago, so I'm not a car person. So I don't love cars. For me, a car is a means of going from one place to another, right? So there was this client of mine, and we had completed his residence application, and he had come to say thank you. And he didn't even know what car I own, right? And he told me कि सर आप ना अब रेंज रोवर ले लो. तो मैंने उससे पूछा कि यार मैं काम तो रेंज रोवर के अंदर से बैठ के नहीं करता हूँ, काम तो मैं ऑफिस के अंदर से बैठ के करता हूँ, तो क्लाइंट को कैसे पता कि मेरे पास रेंज रोवर है. तो he said कि no, I mean, when people start knowing you, so they see what car you are driving,
Correct.
what kind of parties you're going to, or what kind of events you're going to. So, so cultural context में, yes, there are times when clients see कि how your office looks, right? Unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know. I mean, we are not one of those offices which like to be flash. So we've got a very, very humble office.
Yeah, I will reframe this question. Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
interrupting
yeah.
you. If I want service A and I
Yeah.
see that there is one advisor who is charging me really good prices,
Yeah.
like really reasonable prices,
Yeah.
and now I'm suspicious if
Yeah.
he or she is good
Yes.
enough or not.
Yes.
Is there a way that I can actually find out, ask for some documentation, talk to them? Is there a way that I can figure out that not this guy, this person looks genuine despite the
Yes.
fact they're charging less?
Yes. So this happened with us once. It was a reputation liability case, and this was a South African client. And the fees that I quoted was less than what they had got from a lawyer. And they were very happy with what I had advised them. But after I quoted the fees, so they weren't in touch for a couple of days. So I realized what the problem is. And I knew कि वो अपना पहला कोटेशन किससे लेके आए थे. They had told me कि हमारा एक कोटेशन यहाँ से आया है. If I wanted, I could have raised my quotation because I knew कि उनको तो already उतने का quotation मिलेगा ही. So I explained to them that, look, I know you may be confused that my quotation is less than their quotation. They're a bigger office. They have more expenses. I have less expenses. Doesn't mean that I don't know my work. ये मैंने किया हुआ है पहले. I've done it before. I know what is to be done. If you want, you can come to the office and you can have a look at what kind of work we do.
So you suggest if people are in two minds, they should just ask
Absolutely.
the advisor.
Absolutely. You should ask, yaar, I went to another advisor. He's saying that, charging $3,000 for the same thing. Why are you charging 2,000 to me?
I see. Okay.
Why should you not ask? हम कुछ छोटी चीज लेते हैं तो भी तो देखते हैं ना कि लेट्स अज्यूम कि इस X हम पेट्रोल ही ले लो, Z पे पेट्रोल महंगा है और मोबिल पे
Correct.
लेट सस्ता है,
Correct.
वो भी तो हम देखते हैं ना.
That's right.
हम पूछते हैं तो why not? Here तो you are spending thousands of dollars.